Hello, Kelly Lee here, professional genealogist and founder at Root Pursuit. We are working on handwritten fonts for vintage and Victorian times to kind of blend in with our heirloom vintage keepsake album that we're working on. They're very similar to junk journals, but today we're just going to work on fonts and easy fonts that look professional and look like they were possibly done on a computer, but not done on a computer. So I've got some markers today. There's a couple of different 0.8 and 0.5 and another 0.5 and 3. So we'll just kind of, we have a couple of different colors here. We've got blue, mostly black are these, and then one that's a little bit of a brown color. In the end, black always ends up looking better, but yeah. So years ago I did some fonts, and they were pretty fun, but then I thought the fonts that I learned weren't exactly, they wouldn't exactly work with this sort of vintage and antiquarian or Victorian era. So the main principle behind, and these are really easy, because once you learn the trick to doing it, they're really simple, and they look pretty decent. I mean, I'm not, you know, a sketch artist by any means. So but anyway, let's get started. So the main premise behind these is you want to print. So basically you just write out whatever it is you want to write in, just as you would normally do it as printing. So for instance, I would like to do a page on local history. So I'm just simply printing that, just as I would. So now in the past, some of the different features that you can do is just basically add a triangle, and the weight of the marker that you're using will make a difference. So for the weight of this marker, I would definitely practice on some non-important paper first. So for this marker, I should have made my printing a little bit bigger so that they made more sense with the triangle and the weight of this marker. But I mean, there really isn't much to it, and it has a lot of give. Mine look like little hearts for some reason. All right, so, and actually that one's not bad for a historical font. But let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger and see what happens. And all of these are simply based on you printing, not cursive, just printing it out neatly at first, and then every font that we're gonna use, you go back and you add later. So again, we're gonna try the triangle, and you can add a little loop there to add a triangle here. And as you can start to see, I mean, it's just a really quick way to make your font look a little bit neater. And one thing, I have to not stick my head in the camera. Okay, one thing that you is nice about this is it's forgiving. So let's just say you needed to make your T be in line, then you start your triangle where you want that line to go. So yeah, all of mine look like hearts today. You could kind of go along and make the edges a little more defined, although I find that the more I play with it, the more it doesn't look as good. But maybe you won't have that problem. All right, here. Yeah, and if you find like a letter is slightly off center, then when you add your lines, you kind of can visually scoot it to the direction you want it. So at any rate, that's one, just adding the triangles onto the side. I think the weight of this ultra fine point Sharpie is the 0.3. I'm pretty sure that's a 0.3. So this is a 0.5, and that's just slightly bigger. So, all right, let's just try a 0.5. And this time we're gonna do a different font. So we're gonna try to make this bigger, and we're just printing. Now for this font, my Y needs to be at an angle. So I don't want the curved Y with this particular font. So whatever you happen to be writing, V's, W's, M's, N's, those all need to be, so for instance, if you don't want this N, you want, wait. Let me just think here. B, W, M. So you don't want that M, you want this M. So if there's any letters like that. All right, so here's what we do for this one. The L's kind of boring, but you basically just take this line and you make it a little bit thicker. And for the O, you make that line just a little thicker. And you do the same for the C. And for the A, so you're just basically making that left direction a little bit wider. And there we go. All right, so it's basically just creating a left-hand shadow for each and every letter. So it's quite easy to do. And there you go. And this, you know, I think this one looks really, really good. So we're gonna tear that one out right now. And I'll show you how it looks. We're gonna do our distressing on the edge first before we put it in the book. Get our brown. Ink that along the edges there. Give it that kind of aged look. And then grab our album and we'll find a page towards the back. This could be one actually. And we'll just glue that in there. And of course this is white glue that I'm using, and I prefer the white glue. And then this is my method for getting a nice thin layer along the bottom. If you get too much glue and it's too wet, you can get bubbling up with your paper, so you don't want that. All right, so then we'll just put that down. All right. So you can see that it adds like that little flare. It just makes it look a little bit more, you know, it's not perfect. It's not, but it's still, you know, adds a little bit of charm, I think, to the paper. So that's one font. Now I'm gonna write something else. I really like this color. I'm gonna stick with this color for today. So another title for a page would be historical reference. So I'm gonna make this 2 lines. So the historical reference page is just where you can add different information about history, things that were going on during that ancestor's life. So, and for this one, I'm going to do the triangles, I decided. There's another one too where you can put dots at the end of each line, but I just think it looks not as, it just looks a little bit more cartoony or something. And I don't think it would go very well with our theme. So I'm not going to recommend that. But if you're, you know, you need a font for some other project or scrapbooking, the dots one is really cute. So we're literally just adding a little triangle at the end of each line. All right. There we go. Just when I think I'm done, I decide I need to do something else. Add a little something more to the page. That H is a little wonky. All right. There we go. Now I feel like I need to go over every line. All right, I'll be quick. All right, there we go. So now we have a title for our page. And we'll do our little antiquing on the edge there. And then we can just find a page and glue it in. This is our last page that we've done, so might need a little background. But yeah, so this is a great way to, you know, use your own handwritten font to make it a little bit more, oh, what's the word? I don't know. Just look a little bit more in tune with, or appropriate for our theme. So anyway, I hope you like this. And if you are interested in finding out more about genealogy research, you can head on over to Root Pursuit. That's ROOT-Pursuit, PURSUIT.com. And if you're interested in more video tutorials, come along and check us out. Subscribe and like, and check out our next video. All right, I'll talk to you later.